Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So, it is June, and that means it's time for a wrap-up in my June TBR. I'm going to quickly try to wrap up to you everything that I have read. And, to be quite honest, it was not a lot. I didn't actually read. I made it through a bunch of these books, but, and then I started some, and I'm still trying to make it through. So, I will have these done by my next, video. I read Just Listen by Sarah Dessen, okay, and it was an amazing novel. I read it, I picked it up and I couldn't put it down all day, and I finished it, and let me tell you something. Sarah Dessen is one of my favorite authors, and that book is amazing. I highly recommend it. It is about this girl who something bad happened to her and nobody really knows, and she's a model and just kind of living her life, and then she meets this guy and who has had some anger issues in the past, and it's all about telling the truth, and he loves music, and so he just is so determined to kind of make her happy, and it's so beautiful, and the story it sucks you in, and you can't stop reading. It's a beautiful novel. I also read Frankenstein, and to be quite honest, it was not my favorite novel. When it comes to kind of books that are kind of older, I have issues with them because, you can't really put yourself in the mindset of how they're talking, and so it's kind of hard to get sucked in. I found myself whenever Dr. Frankenstein was talking or narrating, whenever he talked, that was when I had issues paying attention. When in the part of the book where it kind of went into when the monster he created was telling his story, I sat there and I was able to understand. I was able to pay attention through pretty much all of it. And then Frankenstein would start to talk again, and then I would just lose all interest, and I don't know why. I did find it kind of cool how the author did the novel. There were letters, and then the letters in the front and in the end, and how in the middle it was Frankenstein telling the guy who's writing his sister these letters his story and everything. If you didn't know that already, I apologize. Yeah, you really should read the novel. And so let me think of what else I read. I read A Walk to Remember, and I read that pretty quickly. I felt, it was a pretty good novel. I like the fact that Jamie was a Christian. I really admire how much she read the Bible, because I don't really read the Bible that much. I read it before I go to bed, and I probably should read it more, but she just kind of takes it with her everywhere she goes. She reads it, at lunch, and, just takes it with her everywhere, and I really like that, and I like how optimistic she kind of is at times, and I really like it. I really like that. And so I did make a playlist, so check that out, for the songs I felt that went with Walk to Remember. Even if the songs didn't fully go with it, there would be a part of the song where I felt hey, this kind of goes with it. And I am intending on going back through the book, and I'm going to give it to one of my cousins, and I'm going to make them read it. That's right, I'm making one of you guys read it. And, putting, songs that they need to listen to on each chapter. Keep it either on a loop, or there'll be multiple songs, and that they need to listen to, that I felt would get them nice and depressed for the mood the novel sets. Time to get started with my TBR. Okay, so, sorry I did here. But the first book, which I am currently reading, is, hold on, I'm sorry. Okay, Privilege. And this is about a girl who kills her boyfriend and then proceeds to get arrested. And while she's in the jail, she spends a few years there, about 2 years. 2 years, I think. I'm pretty sure it's 2 years. And she's determined to have her old life back. So she breaks out and is trying to hide from people, and just to kind of go back to the way her life was. And I don't think that's really, personally, I don't it's not really possible, especially considering the fact she has no money. She can't tell anybody where she is. So the next book I will be reading is Nerve, and it is the Diverging Book Club's read for this month. And feel free to join us. Go check us out on Facebook. We'll let you join. Next book is The Cage, and it is about a girl who gets kidnapped by aliens, taken to their planet, and is put in a human zoo where aliens just kind of go by and they look, you know, they kind of watch the humans like you would like animals in a zoo, you know, and so it seems really interesting and I'm excited. So I will also be reading, which I do not have on me, so I will be reading the 4th book in the Percy Jackson series. And I'm actually going to read it this time, guys. I'm determined. And I'm also determined to read a bunch of the books that, like the one book that I didn't read, which was in my TBR. But in my defense, I went to go visit relatives for a week. And I didn't take it with me because I didn't think about it. And I was like, I'll have time when I get home. And I've been at my dad's. And the book I'm wanting to read is at home. Is at my mom's. You see the problem? Okay, next book, let me find it, is Made You Up, and it is about this girl who cannot really necessarily tell the difference between, what's, like, in her head, like, imaginary and what is real, and it seems pretty interesting. Okay, next one is The Wrath and the Dawn, and it is a retelling of this one story. I don't know what it's called. I'm sorry. Anyway, the king just kind of the boy king takes a new bride every night and then kills them. And when this girl gets taken, you know, or she either that or she volunteers for a friend, or her friend already got taken. I'm sorry, that part kind of got crossed when I was reading the description. But she like starts telling the king these stories to keep herself alive, and it works. She continues to stay alive, but then she kind of starts falling for him, and that's kind of a problem considering the fact he's insane. So, and next book is scripted. And it is about this island called Bliss Island, and it's basically a set, like a giant set, and the mainlanders watch the show that is filmed on there, and they just think the life is just great there. And the problem is, though, is that if you don't have enough viewers, you will get casted, like, your character will be taken off, but nobody knows what happens to them once they're taken off. So everybody's like terrified of what might happen to them if they don't get enough ratings. So this girl, you know, when a producer like has her like, you know, kind of start flirting with this guy that she's been in love with for years to get more ratings, she's like, okay, this is great. But then she kind of figures out what happens, and then like, you know, so she's like, I really need to keep these ratings on me or else this is gonna happen. Everything is the final book I will be reading, and it is about this girl who is sick and cannot leave her house, and then one day this guy moves in next door and they kind of talk via text message, and one thing leads to another and they fall in love, but you know, it's kind of hard considering, you know, she can't leave her house and she kind of starts to decide whether or not it's worth it, you know, to be like trapped in her house and not be able to live, or to be able to leave her house and have one great day and then die. So yeah, that is my June TBR and my May wrap up. Now I hope you all enjoyed this video. I will be linking my social media down below. Be sure to check out my Walk to Remember playlist. I hope you guys really enjoy it. And yeah. So I will see you all next time. Bye!